Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, January 10th, 2017. Disclaimer quickly, trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. So as regular viewers well know, we always start our videos off with a look at the Russell Index. We always want to make sure that we look at the markets overall and make sure that they are looking healthy and in an uptrend before we put any new charts forward. And we just use the Russell as our simple proxy for the markets overall. We started with this index when we started putting these videos out a long time ago. The thinking being that the Russell might be the one that is most interest rate sensitive. So it's the one that we refer to as our guide. We always step back to take a look at it on a 5-year monthly time frame, and we've been paying particular attention to this light blue shaded line that offered resistance back here in 2015 where the market sold off, but then in November of 2016 we broke through that prior area of resistance and it is now support. So we broke through with volume. Here's the candle for the month of December. A little more indecision coming in as compared to the month of November with a wick at the top and a wick at the bottom. And of course our candle shaping up so far for the month of January. I'm going to pull it into a smaller time frame so that you can see this little wedgie pattern we're keeping an eye on. So let's go to the 1-year weekly. And there's our little wedge pattern. So here's that strength that pushed us through that light blue shaded line. This is the one that goes back all the way. And here's our little wedge pattern we're keeping an eye on here. So worth noting that last week we had a doji, which is a candle with a wick at the top and a wick at the bottom, right at our trend line. And here's where we're sitting so far for this week. So let's move it away from the weekly to the daily. We'll go 6-month daily, and you can see that wedge pattern a little more clearly now. This is our new area of more minor support on the daily. There's that big long-term trend line, and you can see that price is below the 8-day EMA. So at Chart of the Day Cafe, we're only putting new charts forward when price on the Russell is up and over this blue line, which is the 8-day EMA. So it's trading in this wedge pattern. It is currently below. I know Donald Trump has called a news conference for tomorrow, and there are some earnings kicking off a new earnings season later this week, so the market looks to be kind of chopping around this area and trying to decide which way it wants to go. So until we see price on the Russell move up and over that 8-day EMA and showing strength again, we're just going to sit tight. And today I thought I'd review some chart picks from the ones that we've put forward more recently, starting with Molson Coors on January 5th and going all the way back to Alibaba on November 17th. Start with our most current and go back from there. So our most current one was TAP, Molson Coors. We put it out on January 5th. It is kind of trading right at that 8-day EMA, but in a strong market environment, I would expect this one to lift here. I don't know. And I'm never making any suggestions whatsoever, just sharing my homework with you, just as a reminder. And I have checked the scores on each and every one of these this morning. They are still really high, both value and growth. So there is TAP, and again, I would expect it in a rising market to start lifting here and just continue this basing pattern and hopefully go higher. The next one was OpenText, which we put forward here, our little green circle. We're looking at all of these on the 3-month daily chart. It was trading in this wedge. OpenText, just like TAP, it's kind of doing its thing slowly but surely, but continues to show that modest strength. The other one, OpenText, was December 20th. The other one is ATVI, Activision Blizzard, which we put forward here, thinking that it might lift from that area, but it kind of consolidated for several more days, like a week and a half or so, and it is up and over that 8-day EMA in that same area But again, like the others, should the market continue higher, I would expect Activision Blizzard to do the same. That was put forward on December 13th. The next one is INVA. We put it forward here on December 8th. It had that lift, and then it came back down to retest. I think we mentioned it in a video when it was in this area that it was retesting, and in a continued strong market environment would lift from there, and sure enough it did. So this one still looks good. Put forward on December 8th, and then the next one is STMP, stamps.com, which we put forward here on December 6th. So it's had this little modest lift again, just kind of doing its thing, and looks to be kind of consolidating here. Really like the way it's looking right here, right now. So in a continued strong market environment, I would be looking to this one. I like the way it's been consolidating, and it would seem to me anyway that it's time for this one to show some giddy up. So I would be looking at this one in the days ahead for that lift from this area. Again, stamps.com was put forward here on December 6th. The next one was Procter & Gamble, which we put forward in this area on December 1st. Like the others, it's just had that modest little lift, meandering, but I like the way it's behaving around this area of support that we've got identified. And like stamps.com, I would expect this one to have some lift. Again, it's all about the market, right? The market remaining strong. But I still like the way Procter & Gamble looks, and that was put forward on December 1st. The next one is Green Plains Partners. We put it forward here at this area of support. Took a few days, but then it had that nice candle and lift. It was put forward, when was that? November 29th. And then it came in to retest, but it made a higher low, and then it took off from there. So this one is still looking good, up and over that 8-day EMA. The next one is Kimberly-Clark, KMB, which we put forward on November 22nd in this area. It's kind of like Procter & Gamble, where it's just kind of meandering around. Still like the way it's behaving around this area of support. This is our long-term area of support. And like stamps.com, this one looks interesting to me. I would expect, again, in a continued strong market environment, for this one to start to perk up here. And finally, Alibaba, the ABA, which we put forward here on November 17th. It moved lower. I was hoping it would hold this area of support, but it came back down into this area, filled a gap on the longer term chart. I'll show that to you. So you can see that it had this gap to fill. So it had filled that gap, and I think Alibaba, again, it's all about a continued strong market environment, but now that it's up and over that trend line that we identified, we put it forward here, November 17th. I would look for Alibaba to hold this area of support, hold the 8-day EMA, and perhaps move higher from here. Again, never know. I'm not making any recommendations, just putting strong looking charts in front of you that have both value and growth. So that's our review. Should the Russell have a good next couple of days, Wednesday and Thursday, we will be putting a new chart forward on Thursday. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for watching, and if you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel by hitting the subscribe button on our homepage. And just as a reminder, these videos go out every Tuesday and Thursday morning, and I try to post them prior to 9:30 a.m. Also wanted to say that it might be worth checking this discussion section out. If one of our charts gets a 3 and 8 cross during the week, I will endeavor to post it in this discussion section, or articles, podcasts, interviews of interest. Thanks very much, and have a great day.